My name does not matter anymore because the girl I was died the night my parents closed the door on me. I was 17 years old, barefoot, pregnant, and holding a small bag that didn't even belong to me. I remember the sound first, not the shouting, not the insults, the click of the lock. That sound still follows me in my sleep. I used to believe that parents' love was unconditional, that no matter what mistake you made, home was always safe. I was wrong. Pain teaches you many lessons, but the first lesson it taught me was that blood does not always mean loyalty. It started like every teenage story starts, with hope, with lies dressed as love. He was older, confident, soft-spoken in public, dangerous in private. When he looked at me, I felt seen, or at least I thought I was. He told me I was different. He told me I was special. He told me he would never leave. Funny how easily lies slide into a young heart. I gave him my trust, then my body, then my future. And when I needed him the most, he vanished. No calls, no messages, no goodbye, just silence. I found out I was pregnant on a Tuesday afternoon. The world didn't stop. People still laughed, cars still moved, but inside me, everything collapsed. My hands were shaking so badly that I dropped the test on the floor. 2 lines, clear, cruel. I sat there for a long time, staring at the wall, trying to breathe. I wasn't scared of the baby. I was scared of my parents. My father was a respected man. My mother was religious, strict, and proud of her reputation. In our house, mistakes were not corrected, they were punished. Still, I hoped. I thought maybe love would win. I thought maybe I would be forgiven. That was my second mistake. The night I told them I wore my longest dress. I tied my hair neatly. I rehearsed my words 100 times. My voice shook anyway. My mother didn't scream at first. She just stared at me. My father stood up slowly, very slowly. I could feel danger in the room. Thick, heavy. "Who did this to you?" he asked. I told him his name, and that's when everything changed. My mother slapped me so hard that my ears rang. Not once, twice. She called me shameless, a disgrace, a stain on their honor. My father didn't hit me. That was worse. He said nothing. He just pointed at the door. I fell to my knees. I begged. I cried so hard I could barely breathe. "I'm your daughter," I said. "I'm still your child." My mother looked at me with eyes I didn't recognize. "You are no daughter of mine." Those words cut deeper than any knife. They didn't ask where I would go. They didn't ask how I would survive. My father threw a small bag at my feet. "Leave," he said, "before you destroy what little honor we have left." And just like that, I was homeless, pregnant, alone. The door closed behind me. That sound again, click. I stood outside for a long time. The night air was cold. My body was shaking. I kept waiting for the door to open, for someone to call my name. No one did. That was the moment something inside me changed. Not anger. Not yet. Something darker. I walked until my feet hurt, until my tears dried. I slept on a bench that night, curled around my stomach, protecting the only thing I had left, my baby. People passed by. They stared. They judged. No one helped. That's when I learned my third lesson. The world is not kind to broken girls. But listen carefully, because this is not a story about weakness. This is a story about what happens when a girl survives what was meant to destroy her. This is a story about patience, about silence, about revenge. And trust me, they never saw me coming. The first night on the bench did not break me. It only introduced me to reality. Morning came without mercy. Cold sunlight touched my face, and people walked past me as if I were invisible. Some stared at my swollen eyes. Some noticed my stomach. Most chose not to see. I stood up slowly. My back hurt. My legs trembled. Inside me, a tiny heartbeat continued, unaware, innocent. That heartbeat became my reason to stand. I went to places where nobody asks questions: bus stations, small tea stalls, construction sites. I asked for work, any work. They looked at my age, then my stomach, then my face. No, they said, go home. Home? That word felt like a joke. By the third day, hunger became louder than fear. I learned how to stretch one piece of bread into 2 meals. I learned how to drink water slowly so it feels like more. At night, I talked to my baby. I promise, I whispered, they will never hurt you. I didn't know how, but promises have power. I found shelter under the staircase of an old building. The smell was terrible. Rats ran freely, but it was dry, and no one kicked me out. That felt like luxury. Pain came quietly at first, sharp cramps, sudden dizziness. I panicked. I didn't know anything about pregnancy. No doctor, no guidance, just fear. I sat there, hugging my knees, breathing slowly, begging my body not to fail me. That day, for the first time, I realized something terrifying. If I died, no one would even know my name. On the 5th day, an old woman noticed me. She sold vegetables near the road. Wrinkled hands, sharp eyes. She watched me for a long time before speaking. "You're carrying life," she said, "and you're starving." I nodded. She didn't ask questions. She handed me food. Hot. Real. I cried while eating. Not because of hunger, because kindness felt unfamiliar. Her name was Salma. She gave me work. Cleaning, carrying baskets, small things. She paid little, but she paid honestly. At night, I slept better. For the first time since being thrown out, I felt human again. But survival comes with a price. My body was changing fast. People noticed. Men stared. Women whispered. One afternoon, a man followed me. Too close, too quiet. My heart raced. I walked faster. So did he. I ran. I slipped. Pain exploded through my body. I screamed. People gathered. He disappeared. I lay there, shaking, terrified that I had lost my baby. That night, I bled. I thought it was over. I begged God for mercy. I begged my baby to stay. And somehow, miraculously, it did. But something else was born that night. Fear turned into rage. I realized then the world was not just cruel, it was predatory. And I was prey, unless I changed. Weeks passed. My stomach grew. So did my awareness. I listened more, watched more, spoke less. Silence became my shield. One evening, I saw him, the man who promised me forever, laughing, comfortable, free, with another girl. My chest burned. He saw me too. For a moment, fear crossed his face. Then he smiled, a cold, careless smile, as if I were nothing. That smile destroyed the last piece of innocence inside me. He walked away. I stood there, trembling, not crying, thinking. That night, I didn't sleep. I replayed everything. His lies, my parents' faces, the locked door, and suddenly a thought formed. Slow, clear. They were all connected. My pain was shared. And if pain was shared, so would consequences be. I began to plan, not revenge yet, survival first, strength first. I learned to hide my emotions. I learned to observe people. Who used others? Who benefited from silence? I asked questions carefully. I listened to answers closely. Information became my currency. Salma noticed the change. "You're growing steel," she said. I smiled. She didn't know how sharp it was becoming. The day my water broke, it was raining. The streets were flooded. The sky was dark. I screamed alone. Pain tore through me like fire. No ambulance, no family, just strangers and chaos. I gave birth in a small clinic. No celebration, no flowers, just survival. When they placed my baby in my arms, I understood something powerful. Love can exist even after betrayal. I named her Ayan, hope. Holding her, I made a vow. Soft, deadly. "They will know what they did," I whispered. "Not today, not tomorrow, but one day." Motherhood didn't weaken me. It sharpened me. Every insult I swallowed, every tear I hid, I saved them like weapons. Because revenge is not loud. It is patient. And I had learned how to wait. Years passed. Pain did not disappear. It matured. I educated myself quietly. I worked where no one noticed me. I learned how the world really works, how money moves, how reputations are built, and how they collapse. I never spoke my parents' names. I never chased the man who abandoned me. I waited. When my daughter was old enough to walk, I was strong enough to stand. I returned to the city, not as a broken girl, but as a woman with control. My father's reputation depended on silence. My mother's pride depended on society's approval. The man who betrayed me depended on lies. I took nothing from them directly. I exposed truth. Quietly, legally, publicly. Questions started. Whispers followed. Then investigations. People who once praised them now avoided their eyes. The man who promised me forever lost everything when his secrets surfaced. No drama, no shouting, just consequences. One evening, my parents stood in front of me again, older, smaller, ashamed. They asked for forgiveness. I listened. Then I said nothing. Because revenge is not yelling. It is growth so powerful that your absence becomes punishment. I walked away holding my daughter's hand. I did not hate them anymore. I had won. Not because they suffered, but because I survived, rose, and became untouchable. This is not a story about pregnancy or betrayal. This is a story about what happens when a girl refuses to die just because the world tells her to. And if you're listening to my voice right now, remember this. They may break you once, but you decide who you become next.